Okay, so you'll have to bear with me as I get this whole editing thing down. So yeah, this is a gameplay video. I'm recording the commentary after the fact. We'll see how well this syncs up. I've already edited this down once. Anytime nothing was happening on screen for more than, say, 3 seconds or so, I tried to cut that out. Still, this is about a 17 and a half or maybe even more video of gameplay. One of the problems with playing Arena and playing a blue-white deck, of course, is it takes time. So, anyhow, with regards to the deck, it is, once you've played against it or once you've seen it, there's really no stealth or guile in this. I'm a little sad that I won't ever get a chance to build this on paper. I mean, I probably could. I don't know how well it would do in our actual play group. But at this point, you will see everything that is basically important about this deck. Smothering Tithe is the card that I'm trying to get to as quickly as possible. Obviously, that does no good in the late game, or little or less good at that point, because they can usually pay the mana, or eager or willing to pay the mana by that point. If you get it out early enough, they've gotten used to not paying the mana cost and will just let you slide on it a lot, not realizing how integral it is to this deck. This deck is blue and white and has no other color sources in there to get my green and such, but that doesn't matter. If I get the Smothering Tide, I get those treasure tokens, can do whatever I want. At this point, it's just a race. I'm happy to have 3 of the 3 board wipes in here at this point. The other thing is the Primal Amulet. I'm going to be sad when that goes away, because at this point, it does a lot of work for me in this deck. Like I said, it's not too subtle if you're on this end of it. If you're playing against it or into it, yeah, it can be kind of sneaky and suddenly pull off a win from seemingly nowhere. But there's a lot of hard work that's gone into it up to this point. So, yeah, we'll just sit back and watch a little bit here. Nothing too exceptional. That amulet does let me cast those sorceries in instance just a little cheaper. And emergency powers is the other thing. I just cracked the box looking for that, not realizing that it was a mythic rare, so I should just go out and buy it if I'm going to get it. I'm actually going to buff up one of my commander decks with that, but yeah, so there you go. At this point, I'm feeling pretty good about everything that's happening. Everything seems to be going my way, but soon planeswalkers will arrive, and man, I hate planeswalkers. But yeah, got a pretty good board presence, got a little bit of control. Never, ever, ever underestimate the advantage of sending your opponent's cards straight into the graveyard. Every now and then that will backfire depending on the deck you're playing, but having them pitch cards and me being able to draw cards based on the lands that go in the graveyard works out pretty well for me. That patient rebuilding. Was that a planeswalker I just saw go by? I think so. Well, anyhow, at this point, obviously, I'm not going to do the emergency powers because I want to get that Smothering Tithe on the table first. Smothering Tithe gets those treasure tokens, and the fact that I get to put a 7 CMC card on the table. I don't really actually have any 7 CMCs. I usually put about a 4 or a 5 out there, so I know that if I do the emergency powers, then I'm going to have to throw away my hand, so it doesn't matter that I've got 2 board wipes in there.
We will not fail.
Yeah, I hate planeswalkers. Can we talk about that? Yeah, maybe next time. Smothering Tithe, and it's doubtful, but once that's on the board, he may give me enough treasure tokens to do emergency powers. Probably not. At this point, I'm suspecting that it's all gates, so I'm going to see either a Colossus or that Hydrocrassus, something of that nature. Instead, he pulls out a Cavalier of Thorns. That's a new card that I've learned to appreciate over the last, I'll say, 2 weeks. I've actually added that to my my green machine deck. Oh, there's another one of those stinking planeswalkers. Anyhow. Some crazy sound effects. I'm wondering if I'm doubling up on those. You can hear them in the game and you'll hear them in this. If I sync this up right, it shouldn't matter. But I'm betting that I don't. Yeah, another one of those planeswalkers into the graveyard. Yay. Planeswalker's only good when I use them. Oh, and I love this card. I really do. I'm going to be sad when that rotates out and I can't use that amulet anymore. I'm sure I've said that already, but I really am going to miss it. Yeah. Now, I don't get the effect for that yet because it wasn't on the stack. What? You're going to try to counter me? Luckily, you didn't do it with a small counter spell, but you did it with one that cost 4. Like Vegas in the old days. Listen to those coins just roll in. I wasn't sure what that was, so I went back up to see exactly what he was doing with that. I only knew it was going to impede my plans. I've already had my Smothering Tide destroyed at instant speed once today. I was not happy and not going to have that happen again. That Chaos Wand, I don't know that I make use of that till much later in the game. I only have one of those in the deck. It's another one of those nuisance cards that comes out of nowhere, and if they see it early game, they think it's integral to the deck, so they're anxious to get rid of it. So they may waste a spell destroying an enchantment or artifact, that being an artifact, of course. But it's really just there for a nuisance factor. I realize at this point that he's going to not allow me to cast any instants, and I really like my instants in this deck, so I figure I better get them on the table while I still can. And the fact that, well, I can get double so that even if he counters the first half of the spell, I'm still going to collect some 1/1 life linkers. Yeah, 18 of those. I like that. Of course, he immediately starts to get rid of some of them, but not nearly enough. I think a Settle of the Wreckage or his own Cleansing Nova would have made me very sad. But between a Prison Realm and him bouncing one back to my hand, which of course is a token, so it won't go to my hand, I've still got plenty of life linkers on the table. At this point, who cares how much damage I take? I mean, there might be a nasty surprise hidden in there where he gets a +7/+7 on there, but I'm trying to remember, is that a River's Rebuke? I just noticed one of those go in the trash. I would have been sad with that, but yeah, I think that other one is a sorcery, the 7/7, adding 7/7. And at this point, I decide, well, let's get rid of both planeswalkers. I'll split my forces. Again, I'm feeling pretty confident, maybe even overconfident. 16 life and a large board presence with a Cleansing Nova in my hand, just in case. Worst case scenario, if he does have something up his sleeve, I'm not too worried about it. Mostly, I just don't want Nissa to ultimate. I noticed a lot of people, while I'm happy to get her to 8 and then sack her, I noticed a lot of people are shy about doing that. They want to get it to 9 so they can keep converting their land. At this point with my Green Machine deck, I'm just happy to get those lands on the board and then I worry about the rest of it from there. But I notice people are rather timid and want to save her, so anything I figure I could do to get her down a little bit was going to be great, and if I could kill her, even better. Like I said, I dropped the Chaos Wand, mostly just as a minor nuisance. Only about 7 minutes to go, so thanks for sticking around and watching this much if you have. Oh, but he has another one, but I don't think so. I pretty much, I'm gonna say, dominate the game from here. It's easy for me to talk about how confident I am now, because of course I know I won the game. But at the time, I'm still feeling cautiously optimistic. Again, 32 health at this point, so yeah, I could take damage. Not like I had a choice to prevent it, but I waited till after the attack to use the Chaos Wand. If I was doing it smart, I probably should have done it before the attack in case he had, or during the attack for a Settle the Wreckage, just in case. Mass Manipulation, no, really didn't want him casting that on me. But again, he's got so few land, I've got such a dominating presence. Might as well cast it for 0 to get it out of his hand and into the graveyard. Again, being able to double your spells with that land, it's awesome. Yep, another Planeswalker in the trash. I'm okay with that. And again, the ability to get another Primal Amulet online, I'll take that. Big swing in for as much damage as possible. 30 life. Again, I'm feeling a little more overconfident at this point. Well, not overconfident, but definitely confident. At this point, I know, or I'm starting to anticipate that I'm going to, well, literally anticipate. Haha, funny. Anticipate the fact that I will be casting Anticipate and start ticking up that Primal Amulet. So at this point, I want to get that as close to being able to go off as possible. So Anticipate into an Opt. Yeah, get out of the way. Opt. And then another Opt into, well, into another Opt. Oh, radical idea. I knew there was something else that gave me more cards. And again, I'm not hoping to get anything to counter the spell. It doesn't matter. I just want to set off that amulet if I get the chance. Coming down to the final few plays. Well, another 2 minutes to go here. Discard. Yeah, I've got plenty of land. No problem. Hey, look at that. I can transform it. What are we waiting for at this point? Waiting for him to swing into me if he's going to? No, he's going to try and do another Nissa. At this point, I can't do anything to stop it from hitting the table, so I figure I better get plenty of attackers on the board. 7 suddenly doubles, triples, for a whole lot of 1/1 lifelinkers. I think this is the point when he realizes that, yeah, the game's pretty much over. 7, 14, 21. Good game, sir. Good game. Well, I doubt that my color commentary really added anything to this, but at any rate, thanks for taking the time to watch this. See you next time.